all the peaks that I can see from here that are significant. I bagged all of them. Sterling, Big Cataloochee, Luftee Knob this morning, and Old Black just now. Good morning. It is day 2 of my weekend backpacking trip in the Smokies. It's around 9:45 a.m. and I'm currently heading east on the Balsam Mountain Trail, a little bit more than halfway to the bushwhack for Luffee Knob. And from there, I'm going to turn around, and before I get back to the shelter, I'm going to do the longest bushwhack of the day to Mark's Knob. It was brutally cold last night. I actually just took off my jacket. The sun is warm enough now that I can manage just a long sleeve top. But the forecast on Friday when I checked was supposed to be around 27, 28 degrees, around 5,600 feet. The shelter is actually just above 5,900 feet, and it was more like the low 20s, probably about 23, 24, 25 degrees, and it was rough. Everyone at the shelter was feeling it. No one wanted to get out of their sleeping bag. Luckily, no one's water froze, but for the end of April, mid-20s, that's pretty cold. And it took me forever to get out of the sleeping bag and get all of my clothes on because my hands kept freezing. So I didn't leave until about 8:50, and I left all of my sleeping stuff and clothes at the shelter so I could go a little bit faster. The shelter is probably only 200, 300 yards from the trail junction, so it's definitely worth it to just leave it there, and then when I get back, it's going to be warmer, it's going to be easier to pack it up, and then I'll be on my way home. So next stop is Luffee Knob. At the summit of Luftee Knob, my 4th 6,000 foot peak of the weekend. Luftee Knob is 6,234 feet and is the highest point on the Balsam Mountain transverse chain. This chain runs counter to the direction of the Smokies and the Blue Ridge Mountains, running east to west, connecting the crest of the Smokies to Mount Sterling Ridge and Hintuga Ridge. This bushwhack was pretty tough. The initial climb was very steep. You have to climb over 350 feet straight up from the trail in about 900 to 1,000 feet. And looking forward to get off of this. A little bit behind schedule today. Here's the map. Great Smoky Mountains National Geographic map. It covers the entire park. And they also offer 2 maps which break it in half and have a better scale, but I've never bothered to buy those. Started at Cosby and took the Snake Den Ridge Trail all the way up to the Appalachian Trail, which is shown as orange on this map. From there, I went south and dropped my stuff at Tricorner Knob Shelter, then continued on to Mount Sequoia and Mount Chapman, and then slept the night at the shelter. And then I just took the Balsam Mountain Trail and bushwhacked Luftee Knob. And on my way back, I'm going to take a decommissioned trail from this little notch to summit Mark's Knob, which is nearly a mile on an abandoned trail. So that should be tough. Then on the way back, I'm going to summit Mount Guyot and Old Black before returning back to the campground. So I still have quite a bit of miles to cover today. This is what I'm dealing with on my way out to Mark's Knob on the decommissioned Hyatt Ridge Trail. It's just blowdown after blowdown after blowdown. It's so slow. Summit of Mark's Knob, somewhere around here. The top is really flat, so I walked around back in there. Couldn't find a marker, found a pile of rocks, and that's about it. Mark's Knob is 6,157 feet, and that's my fifth 6,000 footer of the weekend. I only got 2 left. It is 12:30, and it took me 50 minutes from the trail to get here. This is the most isolated 6,000 foot peak in the east, and even though a decommissioned trail runs close to this, there are hundreds and hundreds of blowdowns. It is tiring, tedious, frustrating. Definitely the worst of all the bushwhacks I've been on. Woo, feeling good. I said it took me about 50 minutes or so to get out to Mark's Knob. It only took me 30 minutes to get back. I was killing it. I think it really helped that I already had an eye for all the blowdowns, so I knew the best route. And also, I didn't use my trekking poles. I just held them and kept one hand free to help me jump up and over logs quicker. Now it's 1:20, and I figured I would finish this 30 minutes later than I did. I'm gonna head back to the shelter, pack up my stuff, filter some water, and take a break to eat some snacks and put some zinc oxide on my feet. And hopefully I can leave by around 2:15. I figured I wouldn't be able to leave until 3 o'clock based on my earlier pace. But feeling good. Got the hardest bushwhack of all the 6K peaks over with. And now I just have a couple short bushwhacks up to Guyot and Old Black. And those will be the last 6K bushwhacks I'll ever do. On the way up to Mount Guyot. Pretty steep bushwhack, and it's pretty dense. I don't remember any of the trip reports mentioning that we have to go through a pretty massive ghost forest, which really sucks for bushwhacking. Summit's like 350 feet in that direction, but this last little bit's gonna suck. At the summit of Mount Guyot, 6,624 feet, making it the second tallest peak in the Great Smoky Mountains and Tennessee, and the 4th highest peak in the east. That was quite brutal. I don't know what's up with the GPS tracks and the trip reports, but they take you towards the east side of the summit, and there's a gigantic ghost forest, and I basically got trapped in there. I think I was trying to get my way through and out of there for 15-20 minutes or so. In total, it took me 35 minutes to get to the summit, and there's no way in hell that I'm going back down in that direction. I'm gonna just beeline straight down the north side of the mountain. I don't care how steep it is. That was the worst collection of dead trees I've encountered bushwhacking. All right, one more to go. At my 7th and final summit of the weekend, and my 37th 6,000 foot peak overall. This is the top of Old Black, 6,360 feet. And People did say this was a miserable short bushwhack, which is definitely true. Fortunately, it's only about 350 feet from the trail and 160 feet of climbing or so, but literally there's no open space. It is pushing through this crap all the way up. It only took me 10 minutes, but I'm thankful that this is the last one. It's kind of a miserable bushwhack to end the weekend. I'm back at Deer Creek Gap. I didn't mention this yesterday, but this is an old helipad used for evacuations and trail maintenance. And this little stretch is definitely the only open views of the hike, which is fine by me because that wasn't my goal. But it is cool because now all the peaks that I can see from here that are significant, I bagged all of them. Sterling, Big Cataloochee, Luftee Knob this morning, and Old Black just now. It's almost 7 o'clock, and I'm about to finish a tough, epic weekend of 6,000 foot peak bagging. Unfortunately, the hiker's parking lot is about a quarter mile away from the Snake Den Ridge Trail, so it just added to my misery. But in total, I've hiked approximately 9.5 hours today. I just checked the GPS, and I'm over 35 miles, which means that yesterday I hiked around 7 hours and 16 miles, and today around 9.5 hours and 17.5 miles, but that included 4 bushwhacks. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be between 6,000 and 7,000 feet of elevation gain. I was hoping to finish the hike earlier, but I was trail running down the Snake Den Ridge Trail for the first couple miles, but my middle toe got to me earlier on the Appalachian Trail. When I wasn't looking, I kicked a rock really hard, and I think I shattered my middle toenail. And just arrived at my car, and I'm not looking forward to taking my sock off and seeing the damage I've done. But hope you enjoyed this epic weekend of peak bagging, and I'll see you guys next time.